Oh, okay. So this is the second part because my alarm went off and it cut off the video, and I don't edit, so I just restart. So this is just a continuation from the previous video. Okay, so what I was talking about was just developing a good routine for the morning commute to work. Make it enjoyable, make it fun, because you know what, your day is gonna be less daunting, like what I was saying, and less intimidating if you go in with good energy. Other people will recognize that energy, give it back to you, and then you can just continue having a good day. Okay. Um, you become socially satisfied when you become aware of your surroundings and have these stories and become socially, like, at least I talked to some people today. You become more engaging and approachable, for more opportunity at work, maybe more goals and more successes, and just you become more open and trustworthy. And when you become approachable, and patient, your mood improves. You become just a lighthearted, fun person to be around with all the time. People can trust you and they can rely on you. And then you take that energy to your customers. Come on, are you kidding me? They're gonna love you. They're gonna want to keep calling you back and keep buying your product because you did your yoga in the morning. You had your muffin, you had your coffee, you had your TV show, you had your newspaper reading. You had your good vibes going, and then you took that to work, and then boom. That's the people. That's the kind of people pleaser you want to be, because those are all self-rewarding things that you're doing for yourself, and other people notice that and respect that and want to be around that without you lifting up a finger for anybody else. You're just there to shine. And if everybody has that energy, things will just become more fluent. So number 3 is saying no to meaningless things. I know we were on this happy, good vibes, and then no. We have to be assertive. We have to be direct. We have to be aggressive at times. We have to be sure of ourselves when we say this word no. We have to be patient. We have to be accepting of the other person's answer, and if they don't agree with our no, then maybe maybe they shouldn't be in your life. Start understanding and start realizing their reactions to your actions, and if they don't react the way that you find respectful or okay or adult or just manageable or just respectful, then if they're acting like a teenager or a child, just stomping their feet and go nah, 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 then drop them. Drop them and see how far they get in life. You know what I mean? Survival of the fittest. It's not putting yourself in positions where you waste your time and energy for other people's, wants and needs. I portray myself maybe as an asshole because I never go to things, but you know what? I'm okay. Like I have like a self-love, a self-independence within me, and I wouldn't have gotten here if I was wasting my time on meaningless parties and things and outings and things like that. And so Warren says the difference between successful people, okay, and really successful people is that really successful people say no. They say no to almost everything. Almost everything. Okay? No is like one of my favorite words because it makes my day more open. No. It's not being selfish. It's just knowing your worth and knowing your time. I will say yes if I feel I will have a good time or if it will contribute to my wants and needs. And if it's not, then why show up? Why? I always feel like when I show up to things I don't want to be at, I'm always like, I could be doing something more productive, and then I start doing something more productive, and I feel like I'm ignoring everybody else. But that's when you start realizing where you should put yourself in life. So Warren continues in his quote, and he says, the greatest commodity is time. And it's so true. Because if we don't set boundaries for ourselves, then we become manipulated without realizing it. We become puppets without realizing it. We become somebody else's, clone without realizing it. We become somebody's, just what's the word, just like little pup dog, you know, just following them around and doing everything they say, and just, that's when relationships, you know, it becomes apparent in relationships when you see somebody manipulating another person to their wits, to their last wits, but to them they feel as if they're helping somebody they care about, so they feel good. But what they're doing is, I feel like they're hurting themselves even more, because one of these days they're going to realize and pop, you know. It's kind of like festering inside of them. And I, as a server, as a person who works at restaurants, I see that in relationships where somebody just, like, it's a dinosaur and a sheep, you know. And it's saddening to see that these people haven't built that self-confidence to say no. This is what I'm saying, is that no is very important, to realize where you are in life, and how and where you can put yourself in life, and know your time is valuable to you, and basically execute it in the way that you want to, and not in anybody else's shoes. So we want to manage our time better by saying no, and by setting boundaries, and putting ourselves in a bubble, in a sense, but in a safe, healthy bubble, to where you block all the BS, all the noise, all the nonsense, all the manipulation, all the contradiction and controlling, and the negativity. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, guys. And it's easy for the human, the individual, to get swept up on it, on addictions and drugs and media and porn and all that stuff, all that nasty stuff out there, and it becomes a part of you, and it wastes your time. So say no to these things that easily manipulate you as the human that you are. You're not a robot, you're not superhuman, you are just a human, and you are just as, you know, soft, you know, just as sensitive as the next human. So know where you're putting yourselves in, and if you're damaging your temple, if you're damaging your body, you know that you are. There's something inside of you that says you're not supposed to be doing this, but you do it anyway, because those addictions and the manipulation and the controlling is heavier and weighs heavier than your own mind. So make your mind stronger. And by doing that is by setting boundaries and putting yourself in positions where you grow a thicker skull, thicker skin, and you don't become so sensitive, and people start looking at you as somebody who's wearing shields and armor and swords, and they're ready for life, and they put on that armor every day, right? Every day it becomes a little stronger, because they work on it, and they set those boundaries, and they say no to addictions and manipulations and things like that, and they know their worth. So it's up to you as the individual, as the human, to make your mind stronger than people's words, their vocalizations, and their physical pulls sometimes. Make your mind stronger. With that mind stronger, your vocalization becomes stronger. You become a better speaker, a more confident speaker, and somebody who can establish their wants and needs, and can say no to anybody